To go fast, swimmers have to create as much speed as possible with as much efficiency as possible. While the speed part is obvious, if swimmers can't sustain their speed, they're not going to go nearly as fast as they otherwise could. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. Improving skills is a means to an end. Ultimately, we want to help swimmers go faster and we want to help swimmers swim efficiently. While it can be useful to work on the components in order to achieve those outcomes, sometimes it can be useful to focus just on the outcomes and force swimmers to figure out the skills that allow them to achieve those outcomes. This is another strategy using that key concept, so let's take a look at the problem that it solves, what it is, and how to use it optimally. In almost every case, we're trying to help swimmers improve over time, so it's important to understand what contributes to their long-term progression. So what does it take for swimmers to get better? When you look closely, you'll see that 12-year-olds can swim at world-class stroke rates, but they obviously can't swim at world-class speeds. What's the difference? Stroke length. And so as swimmers progress, as they improve, as they grow, stroke length is the major reason that swimmers get better. So the obvious question then is, how can we drive long-term changes in stroke length? We can focus on the indirect changes, whether it's skill, let's make sure that their elbow's in the right place, let's make sure they're staying level, or it's fitness, let's make sure they have the necessary metabolic fitness, let's make sure they have the necessary muscular fitness. Or we can take a very different approach where we try to facilitate direct changes by manipulating their stroke count. We can force them to swim longer and then make them figure out how to make it happen. It's a very different approach, but if swimmers can be successful by making direct changes, they're going to directly improve their performance. And just as importantly, both the skills and the fitness are going to come along for the ride. And to make sure they're creating length in a way that's relevant to performance, we can use tasks that ask for both speed and length. So what we can have swimmers do is try to achieve the same speed, but take fewer strokes to make that happen. There are a lot of different ways to manipulate stroke count and speed, and this is a powerful option that's often overlooked. So swimmers have to swim long and they have to swim fast in order to be successful. So if they just emphasize the speed component, they're not going to be able to lower their stroke count. If they just emphasize the stroke count component, they're not going to be able to hold their speed. So they have to swim long and they have to swim fast, and the numbers let them know if they're being successful. Which brings us to the next point. If there's better feedback, there's faster learning. And this strategy provides immediate feedback. After every repetition, they know how long they were, they know how fast they were. It's objective, there are numbers to it, 30.5 seconds, 30 strokes, whatever it is, and they are relevant. They provide the information that they need in order to improve their performance. And as a result, swimmers are going to have to create change. They're going to have to swim differently. They're going to have to do something different in order to hit the speed or in order to hit the stroke count. They've got to make it happen. So if they can improve in a set like this, if they can maintain their speed and drop their stroke count, they're becoming more efficient without compromising their speed. And then when you add the strokes back in, that means they're more than likely to be able to swim even faster. If we can get more efficiency, if we can get more speed, that's exactly what we need to help swimmers improve over time. When it comes to the details, you can use this strategy in any training context, whether that's speed work, endurance work, or even racing work. It doesn't really matter, and in fact, you want to use it in different training contexts because it allows swimmers to develop their skills at each and every speed. And if they can be successful across the whole training spectrum, they're going to be effective at racing. You can also combine this strategy with other skill development strategies. You can have them do it with drills. You can have them do it with resistance. You can have them do it with hand postures. You can have them do it with training aids. And this allows you to put the pressure where you want it. If you're doing a certain drill and then you're asking them to be more efficient at the same speed, whatever skill that drill is working on, swimmers are going to have to execute that at a higher level. If you want to put more pressure on the ability to create propulsion, resistance will get the job done. If you want to help swimmers set up their stroke more effectively, hand postures are going to help. And if you had swimmers use a buoy, for instance, again, they're going to have to be more effective with their upper body because the legs can't contribute. So it allows you to be selective in the skills that you're developing by having them go same speed, fewer strokes with different strategies. It's also important to understand the strokes. Butterfly, they're not going to be able to change their stroke count that much while still maintaining the speed, whereas in breaststroke, you can typically see a pretty big change and they can still hold their speed pretty well. So it's still valuable in both cases. It's just important to appreciate the magnitude of change you might see. If you're expecting a swimmer to go the same time and take 4 less strokes in butterfly, it's probably not going to happen. But in breaststroke, that might be a possibility. So by understanding what's possible with the strokes, it's easier to set realistic expectations. So this is an endurance freestyle set where we're challenging swimmers at a couple different intensities and different levels of efficiency. So they're going to go 3 rounds through. They're going to start off with 2 100s at threshold speed, whatever that means to you. Then they're going to go 100 freestyle. They got to hold the same speed, but take 2 less strokes per 100. Then the next 100, they got to go the same speed again, but go 4 less strokes per 100. Then on the next one, they've got to go 6 less strokes per 100. They've got to keep the same speed. They also have to keep the same number of dolphin kicks because that would be cheating. Then the second round, we're going to start off those 2 100s. They're going to try to go 2 seconds faster, and then they're going to repeat the process. So each round, they may end up taking more strokes, but within each round, they've got to take fewer strokes and they've got to hold their speed. So by the end, they're going pretty fast, they're swimming pretty efficient, and they're doing that as they start to get a little bit more tired, which is going to help them improve not only their skills, but their ability to hold their skills when they begin to get fatigued. This is a backstroke speed set, and we're going to put a lot of pressure on their upper body and the ability to create propulsion. So they're going to go 25 backstroke fast. They're going to count their strokes. Then they're going to go 25 backstroke fast. They're going to take 1 less stroke, and the goal is to get as close as they can to that first 25. They may be able to hit it. They may not be able to hit it, but that's the goal. Then the next one, 2 less strokes, then 3 less strokes, and then 4 less strokes. And in each time, they're trying to get as close as they can to that first one. So they're going to have to set up their stroke more effectively. They're going to have to get more out of each stroke. They're going to have to manage all the details better in order to go faster. So the goal is don't let the speed drop off. And if it does drop off, how little can it drop off? The closer they can get, the more successful they are. And just like the previous set, they have to take the same number of dolphin kicks because that's cheating. If they just take more dolphin kicks, they're not actually doing anything any better. In terms of training aids, first round, they're going to go with a band, second round, band and buoy, third round, buoy, and then fourth round, swim. So they should be able to get faster each round because the training aids are allowing them to do that. But within that round, they're still trying to hold that speed and they're trying to be more efficient, take less strokes as they do it. Next set is a little bit more of a racing set. We're going to go breaststroke and we're going to throw some drill work in it. So they're going to go 350s breaststroke with a dolphin kick, strong effort. They're going to count their strokes and then they're going to try to hold their speed and fewer strokes each 50. So we're working on the upper body here. We're working on helping them learn how to hold a ton of water, and they've got to learn how to take fewer strokes but try to create just as much speed. They'll try to apply that skill to a 50 breaststroke, stronger effort than they did. We're going to repeat that process 3 more times for 4 rounds total. The same basic pattern is going to happen. On the 50 breaststroke swims, they need to get faster as they go. And on the 350s breaststroke, they need to get faster as they go too. Their stroke counts are probably going to come up each time they do that first 50 as compared to the previous round. That's okay. But within each round, they've got to find a way to take fewer strokes. The fewer strokes they can take and still hold the speed, the better. So we're helping them learn how to be efficient with their pulling, but not sacrifice any speed. The better they can do that, the more skills they're going to learn, and the better their long-term performance potential is going to be. If you want to learn more about how to use stroke counts to help swimmers improve their skills, check out the video below.